All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Well, welcome to the Leveraged Affiliates. Tonight we're talking about researching leads and prospecting. This is a topic that I know is near and dear to all of your hearts because if it isn't, it should be. Each and every one of us need to take a look at our leads and figure out a way on how we can turn them into prospects. It's honestly no way you can get around to doing all of this. All right. Also, so on the agenda, we're going to talk about recommended sales process, effectively researching your leads, prospecting tips, techniques, some do's and don'ts, and then a few key takeaways. So this is an overview of everything we're going to talk about, and we're going to discuss all of this for you this evening, so brace yourself. So let's start off with number one, the recommended sales process and methodology. It isn't that hard, so y'all should be able to follow along with this quite easily. All right, so as we're looking at this, we're going to be focusing a little bit on researching and prospecting. In the sales process, once you have leads, you need to research them. Pick up the phone, make a phone call, send them a sequence of email or voicemails, try to get up with them. Now, before you do all of that, I would sincerely hope that you're going to research your leads, before you start prospecting them. Because once you get them, do a little bit of research and then get them on the phone, get them on the internet, get them on PM, whatever it is you got, this is when you're going to start having your discussion with them. So we're going to look at generating leads. You got to generate it. We've already talked about that. All right, researching your leads before you can prospect it. And when you start talking to them, you're going to qualify them. You can talk to a bazillion people, but if they're the wrong bazillion people for your business, you're kind of wasting your breath. So you want to qualify, determine their worthiness before the next step. Look at a little bit of diagnostic goal setting. Does your business fit their needs? And if it does, you need to present their solution and then get the close. And that's pretty much where we're going to go with this. On the next slide, you'll see right here, this will be available to y'all, of course, on the back office and Leveraged Affiliates. You can take this and print it, keep it up where you can see it. Make sure we get our lead generation going on. You got to find the prospects before you can start doing anything else with them. Research them and then prospect them. Get to that connect. Then we want to do the connect, schedule that assessment, right? You're not going to schedule an assessment with them. Your assessment is something you're doing internally. As you're connecting with them and talking with them, you're trying to identify what their business needs are, which you should have already done through your research, right? And then start trying to qualify on whether they're going to be the people that you need to talk to get that sales going. You got to qualify. Are you talking to the right person? You got to align your business goals with their activities or their goals with your activities. Are you going to marry up and work out for each other? So if you look at all this, let me get my mouse over here. Presentation. Once you get to align your business goals with activities, you can start presenting your solution or your trial for them and then hopefully get a close on these folks right there. So we've already talked about doing leads, utilizing social media or various other techniques to get your leads. And if you have not seen any of the training on that, please feel free to go into the Leveraged Affiliates back office and look at all the training that we've done in the past, and you'll gain that knowledge right there. Once you got your leads, this is your heads up. These are people you might want to talk to. So now we got to research them. So how are we going to research them? Well, when you're researching, right, the reason we want to research them is you're leveraging this as a part of your report building. You've got to build that report. If you do your research appropriately, you're going to be showing them through your conversation that you have actually researched their business, their industry, and this denotes genuine interest, right? If you have a common connection, if you've done your research on some of their social media sites like that, you might want to ask for a referral. Remember, while you're doing this, you're simply in the connect form. You're trying to get this connection going on. You're not here to sell them something, but rather to be a problem solver and a trusted advisor. I said it in the last training, don't sell me something, solve me something. So at this point, you're just trying to learn everything you can to be a trusted advisor for these folks. And I hope that makes sense for everybody. The goal of the research stage is to be prepared for the prospect, to connect and qualify the stages of the sales process. This includes determining whether the lead is workable. And if so, what is the priority of this lead? How much trouble are they in? How much of your solution do they need? How fast do they need it, right? Do you have, honestly, what it is that they need? And if that's all the case, you might want to put them at high. If you really don't have what they need, I probably wouldn't even pursue it past that. You got to get in there and talk to them to find out whether it is their business can use your product. You got to figure out, are you talking to the right person? Are you talking to the decision maker? The bottom line is going to give you that yes or no. So as you're doing all of this stuff and this researching that you're doing, remember, you want to determine, is your lead workable, right? You want to start to qualify the lead. Let me turn on my little highlighter here. There we go. Start and qualify the lead, and you can use the acronym BANT. If you look right down here, do they have the ability to spend, right? If whoever you're talking to as you're qualifying your lead does not have that authority to spend the money, you're talking to the wrong person, right? Do we know who the decision maker is? Because if they don't have that decision for the budget, they probably don't have the authority. So these two will actually kind of marry up. And the people with this authority here is who you honestly need to be talking to. Does this prospect have an urgent business problem and pain to address? You know, do they have a need? And that is why you're talking to them, because hopefully you've done your research and you know you have a need for one of their potential problems. And do we know the time frame in which that they need a solution? Your timing. Is the timing going to be correct? Find the opportunities to develop a connection by building this report, being personal, and developing that trust. Those are all huge things that you might want to try to do. So let's get prepared for the prospect, connect and qualify. So a lot of people, in a nutshell, your overall goal is to be prepared for the prospect, connect, qualify the stages of that sales process. That is what we're trying to do. So are you spending too much time looking for high volume or prospects and not enough time ensuring quality? A lot of people are. Quantity is important. I got that. Every one of us has heard of the law of averages, right? But you can talk to 1,000 prospects who are not useful, have zero interest in your product. You can spend months trying to reach out to the same unresponsive prospects when you should have spent 20 minutes evaluating their fit. This is what all I'm talking about right here as you're trying to, you got your lead, you're engaging them in a conversation, you've researched them, you're engaging them in a conversation, right? Right. If you're talking to a bazillion people, but none of them qualify, this is a big word right here. Going back to that BANT acronym that we saw just earlier. If they're not qualifying, you're kind of wasting your time. I'm not saying blow them off. They may not qualify at this moment, but down the road they can, and there's simply nothing wrong with building a lot of great friendships and camaraderies and things of that you can come back to, or if you're lucky, they'll come back to you. I wouldn't bet on that last part though. And I'm sorry, y'all can probably hear my mouse just going crazy down here because it hates me. Right. So let's look at the fit matrix for your prospect. The title is the person you're speaking with the decision maker, or are they the gatekeeper to accessing that decision maker? You need to find this out. All right. Once you find out if you're talking to the right person, have you identified the inclination to your industry. If the prospect is familiar with your industry, is the prospect familiar with the industry, they're probably going to be very interested in what you've got to say. The best prospect is one that has a bit of knowledge of what you're doing. If they have already expertise in your industry, they are possibly will not need your product if they're already experts in what you do anyway. And if they're totally unaware, I wouldn't waste my time a whole lot with them. So as you're looking at all of your websites, your landing pages, your Facebook posts, everything that you're doing, right? Are you paying attention to anybody who's interacted? Have they downloaded a piece of your content, subscribed to your page? Have they entertained email correspondence with you? And if so, have you followed up with these people, right? Because right here, if they're doing any of these items, they're showing interest in what you got to say or the content that you're posting. In other words, they're showing some interest in your product. They bear a little bit of communication with them. So that's a real good indicator right there of a good prospect. How did they come through? How did they get to you? Was it through a referral or an active search? Either is great because it just means that they're actively researching your business. Now, if they're actively looking for you, that's fantastic. Did the prospect view your pricing page, product page, or did they just simply look at your home page, right? And that's all they did. They didn't spend a whole lot of time there. You can follow up with them. I'm just not going to give it a whole lot of hope. Come on, my little mousy. Right? So we talked about doing a little bit of prospecting. And every last one of us are doing some social media stuff. You know, there are a few ways you can research your leads using LinkedIn, Twitter, and also Facebook for research. I don't know if any of you have thought about it, but it does bear some looking into. Using a lot of these things such as LinkedIn. Once you have a lead, go to their LinkedIn and do a search on the prospect's name. Perhaps you can find some results on their profile. You know, go look at their profile. You can see just about everything they've got on there. Start building some intelligence for you. What position are they filling? How long have they been there? What are some of their posts, right? LinkedIn is a great place where you can go and look and see a little bit of all kind of history on what somebody is doing. So, and the other good thing you can do with that is also find common connections, because when you're talking to a prospect, if you have some type of a common connection, that's fantastic. As most of you know, I've been in the military a long time, and we love to recon what we're going to do before we go do it. And that is simply what I'm talking about right now. This is a fantastic way to get to know who it is you're about to interact with. And everybody hates cold calling, but if you know a little something about them, it's not so dadgum cold anymore, is it? Now you can go to Twitter, and some people kind of write Twitter off at times, but you know, don't discount Twitter. I mean, it's an excellent person, market, and industry research tool if you think about it. Unlike LinkedIn, which is very heavy in the business focus, Twitter can give you insights to their personal interests, their hobbies. Maybe they're posting some type of burning questions on Twitter or issues that they're dealing with. It's a great way to learn a little bit about whoever you're getting ready to prospect. Some of the other things you can do, are they asking questions on Twitter, or are they answering questions on Twitter? And that's really important too. Not only look at their questions, but if they're answering somebody else's, let's see what they're saying, right? So we can gain a little more insight on what it is they're talking about. Other ways that you can use Twitter include understanding what your competition is up to. You can go to a search, twitter.com, and enter your competitor, and it will list questions they are asking and who they are interacting with or who's interacting with them. You can also do a localized search on Twitter. For example, you're looking to find prospects who are in healthcare. And in Boston, let's just say, you can go to search.twitter.com and enter healthcare Boston, and you will find people in the Boston area who specialize in healthcare. So don't discount Twitter. Facebook is a great place, LinkedIn is a great place, and Twitter is a great place to do a little bit of social research on the prospect before you start initializing calls. So let's talk about a few tips and techniques. Let's dive into the actual techniques you can use and some special tips, we hope. All right. The first thing when it comes to prospecting, nothing beats activity. Everybody's getting leads. People are already conversing a little bit with you, right? But now we got to turn that lead into a prospect. And the big difference, honestly, is quantifying them and taking them down the road into your sales funnel. Just like with everything else, the law of averages plays a part here. You know, so we got to persevere. If you look here, perseverance is a great element of success. If you only knock long enough and loud enough at the gate, somebody's going to wake up and answer it. That was from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, and it makes a lot of sense, right? You can't do this 1 or 2 times and give up. It is a game of persistence that you have to do. So don't get scared. Don't hold back. You know, let your dreams be bigger than your fears and your activities louder than your words. We got to keep right here. It says law of averages. Persistence is right there. If we don't keep up and redo what we're trying to do, nobody's going to get it the very first time, right? And I've got a little bit of data to show you later on about that. But you got to keep trying, right? So some things that we might want to look at, right? Cold calls are what we all hate, right? But the first time we talk to anybody, that's pretty much what we're doing, right? Perhaps we all get a little bit scared about it, apprehensive, or have fear because we don't have a system. I'm going to go over a little bit of system with you, not a whole lot, but just a little bit this evening, right? But if you had a system such as a script, a list of questions, or some type of a positioning statement, right, that could really go along you out in knowing what you're going to do. And my mouse this evening, and I just lost my computer. I hope everybody's coming back.
It's Zoom.
I think everybody's back.
You didn't lose anybody, honey. We're all here still. It's just, it was Zoom kind of just went.
Okay. Well, everybody gets to do something like that every so often. So what we're talking about as you're prospecting people, you're going to have to talk to somebody, right? We got to get this thing to be personal.
You need to get your slide straight. You're not on the right slide anymore.
Uh-oh. I got to restart it again. Hold on. There we go. Is that better? All right. So any type of a system that you have that's going to help you out, connect with a prospect. You can have a list of questions. You can have a positioning statement and things of that. Something to help guide you through that awkward initial contact as you're talking with somebody. All right. All right, so let's talk about like a position statement. I'm sure all of you are eager to get going with prospecting, but there's one thing you need to do before prospecting, and that's maybe develop some type of a positioning statement. Your positioning statement is a foundation for your call. The purpose is to connect with the decision maker, right? They should think to themselves after listening to you, wow, that's for me. That's who, that's what, that's the challenge, you know, everything that you're saying. So positioning statements could help you uncover some business problems, relate your understanding of the prospect's industry and the pain, and it gets them to talk as well. I bet some of you would like to know what a positioning statement would look like. You can think of it almost like a little bit of a script if you so desire. So to make things a little bit easier for you, let's take a look at this one that I wrote, right? Positioning statements, right, is the framework for a lot of things, right? For creating something like this. What it is, we help, right? Companies like yours, and then put a name in there. This is a simple position statement. We help companies like yours, and you can put the company name in there, who are, and you can insert up to 3 possible problems. Struggling with, frustrated because, or unhappy that, right? And you can put it down as not growing as fast as they want, losing market share to different competitors. Maybe they spend a lot of dollar on their website, but they're not getting generating any type of a return on investment or return on advertisement, right? And then you can follow it up with, do you face any of these challenges? This is the simple format right here. You will have to fill in the blanks with what's going to affect the business that you're talking with, which you will find out once you've done a little bit of research on them to know what is their strengths and weaknesses, what is everything about them. So this is just a format. So let's take it another little step forward. So here's a sample positioning statement for you. I hope business people like you who are frustrated that they've spent a lot of time and money working to attract high quality leads that close faster, but they have yet to see the quality leads that they expected from their website or online marketing efforts. They've hired outside agencies to do the work, they purchased lists or gone to trade shows in order to achieve their goals, and they're just not getting the results that they hoped for. Now they are greatly concerned as to the success of their efforts. Are you experiencing any of these challenges? This is just a simple position statement that you can put out there for yourself. Feel free to take this, edit it, and make it your own with whatever fits your business and how you're trying to talk to the people that you're speaking with. I thought that might help you out to have a little bit of an example up there, right? So as we're getting into prospecting, right, who do we got here? The prospect is usually the bigger guy, and you are always going to be the little guy. Despite the size differences, you can still win, right? You will wear them down and gain leverage on them over time through persistence to topple them over, that they might just give you a call back. It is not impossible, folks. It honestly isn't. So we're ready to start prospecting, right? You have done your research, right? You got the lead, they clicked on your site, you've done some research on them. Now you know who they are, what they're about, and you got info to talk to them with. Make sure you write it down on your schedule. Don't put this stuff off, right? Because each and every one of you should have a daily schedule that you're prospecting, right, at a particular time. And I told you last training session, if you would please write it down as to help force you to maintain that schedule. So let's go ahead. If we've done our research, right, it's on our schedule. Let's go ahead and pick up the phone. Let's go ahead and send that email. Let's initiate a private message, whatever communication method works best for you, and more importantly, the prospect. The goal for prospecting is to make a connection. You're trying to connect here. Speaking to the decision maker on the phone, on a Zoom, some type of a video call, or best yet in person. You're trying to get them to talk with you. While you work towards a connect, you can use a combination between voicemail and emails at the same time. As you're researching your folks, you do want to make as many connections you can, particularly if you're going to try to call them on the phone. You're liable to get a gatekeeper, or you're liable to get a voicemail. Do not give up, right? Send them, leave them a voicemail, send them an email, get their email, and send something to them, because we all know that there's different telemarketing, email marketing. There's all kind of marketing you can get into out there to help you connect with somebody. So one way to be effective is, let's do a little combination. PM them, call them, get them on a Zoom. If you can't get up with them directly, let's go ahead and start an email and a voicemail, something for them, right? And you can use this little sequence right here over a period of time. Remember, I mentioned the word 2 or 3 times so far about persistence. This is not a one-shot game. A lot of times you have to do it more than once. If you look right here, you can do a voicemail or an email. Your voicemail can say the same thing that your email will say, or vice versa, whichever way you want to look at it. So you want to send them one of each. Wait for 24 hours for a reply. Right? After that 24 hours, give them another voicemail email. Let's wait for 48 hours. Now, this is only for one person. You may be doing multiple people with this algorithm right here, okay? After that 48 hours, if you've got nothing back, then you do it again and wait for 72 hours. At some point during this process, hopefully they're going to respond to you and engage you and connect with you somehow. Now, down here, on this 4th one, after you leave that 4th one, you can wait 5 days, and then you can do a breakup. Don't forget to do the breakup, because it's only polite to do it. Make sure you can tweak this any way you want to, but this is just a suggestion from, you know, us to you at the moment. So here's an example for you to look at. And this is generic. That's something that I just threw together. You're welcome to take this and modify this, tweak it to what fits you and what you're doing. You can look right here. It says prospect, right? Which put whoever's name, company name, or whatever they're trying to talk to. You recently liked and commented about the book that I co-authored, Magnetic Entrepreneur, A Personality That Attracts. You also mentioned that the biggest marketing challenge is lead generation and return on investment, right? So if they're interacting with you somewhere, you need to get up with these folks. And if they can leave information like this, that's just a bonus. Based on working with other companies like yours, I believe you benefit from our lead generation systems or programs or whatever it is that you're doing. Remember, you need to tweak this. Please let me know when you have a few moments that, to connect. My name is blank, and my name is Aaron, and I'm calling from Go Socialized, formerly known as Cash Life Mastery. Thank you. So that is just an example of the first one. And the second one is just a minor tweak to it. And this is, first paragraph here always sounds about the same, right? Looking down here, right, we tweaked it a little bit so that if they are still reading this, that we can gain a little more interest in them for them to get back up with us. Your company looks similar to many of our existing successful customers. That's a really good statement to throw in there. While learning more about your company while on your website, I noticed some very interesting items that I believe we can assist you with. So now we've created a bit of curiosity on their part, right? There again, please let me know when you have a few moments to connect. My name is, from where, at the number, and thank you again. Right, so this might be the second one that you throw out there. The third one, if we have to go to third, we'll do this one. There again, this is all about the same. We've helped many customers. Our customers similar to, oops, I got a typo in there. Hope y'all don't see that. Our customers similar to your business expand and grow traffic, leads and customers from their website and marketing efforts. I'd recommend visiting our website and initiating a free website assessment. We're trying to get them to invite us to help them at this point. All right. Now, email 4. This is where we're pretty much at the end. Now, and please, when I say this, I'm saying email, but if you can see the slides up here, voicemail and email. Double bang this thing. Call them up, leave them a voicemail, and also send them an email. So we can get 2 forms of communication going out there until we can get the actual person online. All right, so you can call them prospect. You recently commented about the same paragraph right here. I have sent you several emails. I reached out because it seems like we'd be able to help your business like we've helped other companies. Additionally, I pointed you to some resources we produce specifically to help companies like yours. Please let me know if you have a few moments. This is the last time right here that you have to worry with this particular individual, because after this one, if we've got nothing back, I mean, there's no hard feelings. Maybe they just don't want to deal with you at the moment. That's all it is. But we are going to have to break up, right? So you had a sequence of 4 attempts and voicemails for a total of 8 touches, through your email and your voicemail, right? That was 8 attempts over a period of time. They haven't called you back or replied, right? So at this moment, we're going to have to go ahead and break up, right? It's just that simple right there. Don't just drop it cold turkey, right? Because that's just not polite. That's also not professional, right? So you want to send them at least one more email and one more voicemail. Dear prospect, whatever the name is, you recently liked, this has not changed. I wanted to reach out one last time today to follow up, as I do have some suggestions on how to drive more leads. I'm still putting that little bit of hope right here. If I don't hear back from you, I'm going to assume that the timing isn't right and that you don't need our help with anything. Feel free to verbalize this any way you so desire. My name is, and I'm calling with this. And that was the last one that we're going to, but if you do that, that's actually 10 contacts all total. If that's not persistence, I don't know what is. Now, if you were able to get them on the phone, though, that would have been a totally different story where you could have launched right into everything that you're trying to do, right? But let's go ahead and say that you want to talk with somebody. It wasn't from them clicking or liking or commenting or interacting on your website. Perhaps you met this person at an event and you would like to follow up with them. So I put this in here for like a networking event follow-up that you're welcome to take a look at. It was a pleasure meeting you. Here's this, during our conversation, because you want them, as you're meeting people, as you're interacting, just about everybody you talk to could be a prospect. So I really highly suggest that if you think they may be an interesting prospect, take notes, remember things. During the conversation, you mentioned that you had disappointed in your social media activity wasn't producing results you hoped for. Here's a small example on how I use Facebook to generate results, and you can drop in a link of whatever it is that you're doing. You can also put in there that yesterday you visited their site and you notice some low-hanging opportunities that you can help them with. So this right here is really good for somebody, whether it was an event follow-up or somebody you just met and discussed something with somewhere. I hope y'all kind of like that. I threw that in kind of extra. And let me try to get this going again. So some takeaways, some do's and some don'ts. All right. Nothing different than some of the things we talked about. Some do's, let's work the business, not the contact. And what I'm saying with that, work the business, right? You're dealing with the business. You're not actually trying to make a friend, right? Don't worry about the contact so much, right? You want to focus on business, not the individual, right? Better research is going to yield better efficiency. The more you know about the company, the good points and the bad points of that company's business, the more research you've done, do you have any commonality with this prospect, this decision maker? You're going to get a lot more efficiency during your conversation. Make sure that you're spending time with the right people. You can talk to 1,000 people, but if they are totally not the right people, they're not going to spend the money. They're not that interested. They don't really care or want nothing to do with what it is you're talking about. You're wasting your time. You'll be better spending your time to talk to that one individual for 20 minutes or so, just to make sure that they're the right person for you. So as you're talking to all these people, you know, you're not going to get all 1,000, but you might get 20, you might get 10, you might get 1. But don't waste your time on those who are just not the right ones. Your leads, and here goes the computer again. That's all right. I'm back up and running already, I hope. You could work your high rated leads. If your leads seem somewhat interested, if they want to hear more, those are your high rated leads. Focus mostly on them and always maintain persistence. Don't ever give up. The one thing, some things you shouldn't do, don't take shortcuts. Don't make excuses, right? Don't give up too early. 80% of all sales are made on the 5th contact, right? Don't ignore lead intelligence. Do not ignore reconning out your prospect, taking a look, getting some history, seeing what's going on. How well do y'all marry up in what you're trying to do? And don't ever take a no personally. It's not a no permanently. It's just a no, not right now. You can still maintain contact and be cordial with these folks. Never take it personally. It's not all about that. Right. So there again, this is just reiterating worth the company, not the contact. Invest in preparation for the sales process. Research, 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 research right here. Spend time with the right people. Don't waste your time on the people who are, in your heart are just not the right ones. Work those high rated leads, right? And keep great notes on people that you're talking with, right? Because you might not be able to get it back and prospect them right now, but they might want you to call them in maybe a week or so. Hopefully in that week, you'll remember whatever you talked about a week ago, right? Your success in sales is basically driven by activity. The process and the skills will come. You will learn those. You will develop that over time, right? The one thing that is hard for people to learn is activity. There's just really no substitute for activity. You just got to keep moving. If you don't keep moving and keep trying, it's not going to happen for you, right? So this is 5 contacts of 80% sales. Something that I broke down and I wanted to show y'all. 2% of sales on the first, 3% on the second, 5%, and so on and so forth right down here, right? It's very, very hard to get sales on your very first contact, right? If you do, that's great, right? Usually you got to have multiple contacts with somebody who wants to know more, because they got as much as you got to get to know them, they have got to get to know you. And I hope you understand what I'm talking about with that. Right? Without honest effort, there is no honest reward. So never expect more than what you give or what you gave. All right? This is all on you. The onus is on you. Everybody has got to try hard, put their whole heart into it. And you're going to see some success.
So guys, y'all can unmute yourselves now, and we're at the Q&A portion.
That was very good, Aaron. I don't know what happened to my camera, but it's coming maybe.
Well, sorry, my computer's jacking up too. I hope y'all can understand me, because my jaw is actually killing me after that oral surgery.
Yeah, how is it?
It hurts.
I bet.
I got to fix her.
Yeah.
As long as you got a fixer, that's good.
Unfortunately, I've had back-to-back meetings all day since early this morning, and I've totally lost my voice. So it sounds like a squeaky wheel.
Oh, Wendy? Good.
So in a nutshell, there was a few things in here. There was some repetitiveness in this, and the repetitiveness was on purpose. I was being persistent. I about beat that to death. One of the biggest things you can do, everybody knows you're getting your leads. You're seeing some leads. You're seeing some action. And if you're not, you need to start growing that, right? The biggest thing, I believe I discussed it last week, are you following up? Are you engaging the people who are engaging you? Because all those were leads. Those are your leads. They don't turn into a prospect until you start engaging them in conversation, right? Which you should not do until you research them first. Mm-hmm. If you don't research them first, you could be shooting yourself in the leg.
I know Aaron focused a lot on talking about the emails and being on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something y'all definitely need to start working towards. But I know most of y'all right now are working on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So I think next week what we'll do is we'll talk about some different ways to have conversations with people on social media. Do y'all think that would help?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Is that a thumbs up from everybody?
Even some of those email examples that I gave you.
Yeah.
Could you not put that into a message?
You sure can. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You can use them on Messenger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like conversation starters, you know.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that'd be helpful. That'd be real helpful. You know, like when we're inside of other groups and stuff, Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff that we could, you know, how you can really engage with people inside somebody else's group.
Carefully.
Yeah, very.
Well, you know, I kind of had this conversation with Vicki, and that's one of the reasons why I brought it up tonight, you know, because we are on prospecting and recruiting. And, you know, it's just basically about being human.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I told her, if you were in the grocery store and you saw somebody behind you looking at a magazine, you know, so they were just like dead into this magazine, they're totally ignoring you. Could you find a way to start that conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could like see their magazine and say, oh, I haven't read that article. What is it saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or something. You could figure out something to say.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you're doing.
I'd accidentally run over their toe.
Good, James.
Accidentally now. Accidentally, don't forget that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Accidentally on purpose.
Yeah.
But, you know, you think about that with your business. You're, like Aaron's talking about, you're doing that research, right? So you're going to find out a little bit about them on social media. So when you go to talk to them, you've got that conversation started because you've got those little tidbits that you can pull something from to talk to them, especially if they're on social media and they liked a video or a post you've made, or maybe they're in a group and they've made a comment or replied to a comment or given a thumbs up to a comment that you've made. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way to, oh, well, that person liked my comment, so let's go over and talk to them. So I think what everybody's kind of been lacking from what I'm hearing is the actual conversation starter.
Right.
What I think I'll do is I'll go into some groups and I'll look at, like, maybe, I don't know if I'd look at Aaron's page. That might be a little dangerous. I'll try to, like, look at some pages, like friends' pages, you guys' pages, and see if there's some way that I could have started a conversation with those people.
That'd be cool.
Does that help?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I think so too.
As far as prospecting and recruiting, where else are you guys lacking? What's the hold up? What's the brick wall? Where is the issue that you're not, like, every single day talking to at least 20 people? What's the problem? Vicki, you're muted. I'm sorry. Let's unmute you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something I kind of learned today, that I had to engage and I have to talk to people a little more. I ran a likes campaign to get my 100 likes on EMP, and I wound up with 800 likes and no leads. So now I have to post more and that kind of thing, because I was only posting once every few days. So I have to do that. And you have to try to engage in people. But what you were talking about tonight, Erin, is that mainly if you're doing your own, closing your leads and that kind of thing? Now, if you have Elite Marketing Pro close your leads for you,
then you still have to close whoever you're talking to get them to go to Elite Marketing Pro, don't you?
no, because once you get a lead, I think they follow up on it or something, don't they?
Okay, so Vicki, you're talking about if you were running, say, a Facebook ad to Elite Marketing Pro's blog page, for instance.
Yeah.
Then the lead would go into their system, and yes, they will email them to try to close them into attraction marketing formula or whatever it is you're running the ad for. What we're talking about is you actually prospecting and talking to people that you have connected with on social media or that you have connected with in person. Does that make sense? This is totally different and separate from running ads on Elite Marketing Pro. This is, if you run a blog post to your fan page and somebody likes it, or like you just did all that like campaign and you've got all those people liking your page, this is engaging those people to try to get them into whatever product and service you want to sell them.
But let's say access one of those things, whether it's the boot camp or whether it's the attraction marketing thing, they take over from there, correct?
That is correct. But why would you want to waste all those likes to your fan page? Why would you not want to engage them? Because as it's
so before they do that, I have to, okay.
yeah, because you have to engage them to try to get a conversation going so you can give them the link to the attraction marketing formula.
Okay.
Now, is that the only, now, and if that were your only product is dealing straight through Elite Marketing Pro, that's great, right? You can try to rely heavily on them. But just like Wendy just said, you can't, right? Because there are other avenues. We know that most billionaires actually have about, 5 to 6 revenue streams coming in to be successful. Right?
Well, I'm just starting out.
And that's fine. But,
I'm taking baby steps.
But if you take that thought, we can't take that one information or marketing or sales stream of Elite Marketing Pro and ignore all of this. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we grab this? We use this. Because when you use your toolbox to fix your vehicle, you're going to use every damn tool in your toolbox.
Okay.
And you'll be doing it that way.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and say that maybe eventually you're going to get on to doing something that is not a intangible product, such as social media training or something of that nature. Maybe you got a hard product you're trying to do, a tangible somewhere, and or whether you're trying to sell yourself as a speaker or a mentor. You're trying to sell widget A's against widget B's. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see.
So what we're trying to talk, and we're trying to make this a little bit generalized to cover all those bases.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I hope that helps.
It does, yeah. Real good.
And so, guys, I want to hear, this might be a personal thing too. Like each one of you are individuals. Each one of you have different schedules. You have different things going on in your lives. But we all have a brick wall. So I want to hear what your brick wall is. Why are you not prospecting and recruiting? And I want you to be honest. I know my biggest problem is time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say so too.
So is there a way that you can look at your schedule? Could you get up an hour earlier and get on Facebook, send out some messages early in the day, and then in the evening, take a little bit of time to follow up if they've replied?
And when you say messages, are you talking about like on Messenger?
Yeah, like Facebook messages.
Okay. So like if somebody, like the people who've liked our fan page,
Yeah.
then what you're talking about is go ahead and engaging with those people just on Messenger. Like
Yeah.
you start a conversation with them.
So, like I'll go over that next week.
Okay.
And show you guys how. But if you get in a routine, say you get 5 likes a day, that's really good. Just for generic, you're not running any ads. If you got 5 likes a day, could you go to those people, maybe get up 30 minutes to an hour earlier, however long you think it's going to take you, send out those messages, and then when you get home from work in the afternoon, hopefully they've replied, and then you can actually try to start a conversation with them. Or maybe you use your telephone during the day and you take one person at a time and answer them as they've replied. Because everybody gets breaks, everybody goes to the bathroom. I'll be honest with y'all, I have talked to y'all with questions and things that we've been working on more times than once from the toilet. Okay? I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times, the only time that I have a break, and Jan knows this more so than anybody, the only time I have a break is when I'm going to the toilet, when I'm going to the kitchen to get me something to drink, or I'm letting the dogs out.
Yep,
okay?
that's it.
So if you're talking to me on the phone, or I'm talking to you on Messenger, more than likely I'm doing one of the 3 things. Okay? So,
I'm having a conversation with you.
but,
Now, you're talking about next week. Next week's Thanksgiving. Are you having this on Thanksgiving?
oh, yeah. That's right. This is Thursday, and I did need to try to let y'all know. I think what we're going to do is, how would y'all be, as far as like schedules, would either Saturday or Sunday work better for our makeup time?
Doesn't matter to me.
Y'all be home?
Mm-hmm.
James?
He's muted.
I'm
Yeah.
unmuting.
Yes.
It doesn't matter with me.
Okay. Jan?
I'll probably have to catch your replay if it's on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, so you're gone? Okay.
Yeah.
Helen?
I've got the whole family over.
For the
whole
weekend?
crew's coming. Can you hear me, Wendy?
Yeah.
The whole crew's over. They're all coming down, babe, for the whole week.
Would Wednesday night work for y'all?
That worked much better for me.
I'll be back in Baltimore. I could probably at least listen.
You mean the next week or this Wednesday?
This
This
Wednesday.
coming Wednesday.
That's fine with me.
Coming, wait a minute. Oh,
That's the
okay.
night before Thanksgiving,
The night
so
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on that night, a lot of cooking. I
Yes,
guess I
that's
can
what
do
I'm
it if it's best for everybody else.
That's what I'm thinking. So many people are like fixing food and trying to haul ass and yeah.
That's so
true.
important.
how about if we skip this week and do it next week?
I was going to say Wednesday I'll be stretching my stomach so I can get all the food in there.
What about twice next week? Like, what about the following week, like Monday and Thursday? Would that work?
Probably won't work for them.
Yeah, we have certain nights that we can do. I'm trying to think. So Sunday night won't work for you, Jan? You wouldn't be home Sunday night?
Yeah, Sunday night will be fine. I thought you meant like Sunday during the day.
No, I can do Sunday night, I believe.
Sunday night's fine.
I think
Sunday night's good for me too.
they should
All right,
be
let's
leaving
do
by now.
Sunday night at 8 o'clock instead of Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Okay.
Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Now that's Eastern time, right?
Yep. Always Eastern.
It's
What's
only
your-
Eastern time for Wendy. She doesn't have any other time zone.
Yeah, no other time zones exist.
Oh, what's everybody else in? I'm in Central.
I'm in
Central.
Eastern.
Okay, so we're
Where-
7
where
o'clock
you at?
for us.
Where are you at, Vicki?
40 miles south of Chicago,
Okay.
Mokina, Illinois.
Right. So Wendy had asked what a question for next time prospecting, what's holding you back, right?
Yeah.
Is that what she asked?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How many of you want to see Big Sarge?
See what now?
Big Sarge.
What's that?
Sarge.
Okay,
What
so
is
that's Aaron's alter ego.
Yeah,
And
let's see it.
Let me explain this. When we first started going live on Periscope, do y'all remember Periscope?
Yep.
Okay, Aaron had his account as Big Sarge. And so he would go live as Big Sarge and do his little sergeant drill thing.
Oh, cool.
And-
I want to see it.
And sometimes we'd get on there together and he'd be Big Sarge. And so it got hilarious, but
Yes, it is.
so we're trying to work out a plan and a schedule right now, but things have been insane. But as we're rebranding, we're going to start doing lives back on our Facebook page once we rebrand. And so he's been like going back and forth. Should I be Big Sarge or should I be me?
No.
Okay,
No.
here you go.
All right, so I understand there's a few of you out there who don't think they got the time to do any prospecting. I think that's wrong. Raise your hand if you got time to do prospecting. I should see a bunch of damn fingers up in the air. Please come down here, 'cause I will. All right, so here's what you're going to do. This here is a request. That means you're going to do it.
Homework.
Yes, sir.
What you're going to do every night, you're going to look at all your Facebook posts. You're going to look at your landing page. You're going to look at any social media dig, dead, gum thing, whatever you got. You're going to see who interacted with it. You're going to get at least 5. At least 5.
Did you have trouble in math?
At least 5 people. You're going to jot down who they are, the ones who liked, commented, or something like that. You will research them. You will take notes. And you're not going to do anything more that night. That's it. That's all you're going to do. Research. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Next day, at some point in time, you're going to send a message to these folks, introducing yourself to the wonderful, great, and great googly moogly person that you are with your business. And you're going to introduce yourself. At some point during the day, you do that. That way, by that evening, you're going to see what kind of response you get. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes, sir.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, look, y'all. If you'll research, if you'll get on and look at your stuff, who interacted with you through that day, at the end of the day, the information is effing there. Get at least 5. Try for 10 if you can. Look at their stuff, see what they're doing, learn just a little bit about them, craft a message to that person. You want to make it real easy? Would you like me to tell you?
Yeah.
Pull up Microsoft Excel, pull up Microsoft Word. I don't care. Type it out. To
Type in
that
what?
person. Type it out. What you to that person. Save that document with your typed messages to these different people with their particular interest. I personally think you should use Excel, and I will tell you why. 1 is you can categorize this shit better. 2 is all of your messages you can sort and keep it where you want to go. That way, when you find somebody else with the same interest, you got a ready-made crafted message. No more dreaming stuff up. Why don't we cut, paste, tweak it to that person, be done with it.
Great idea.
If
Thank
you do that and you save this in a file on your computer, you will start developing a library of conversation starters of your very own. Now get down and beat your face. Give me 20.
That's it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow.
And
And
that
so when we're talking about prospecting, it is not a matter of if. It is a matter of You have to do it. You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
When I was overseas, I did not want to walk into that damn roadside barn, but I did, right? If you don't want your business to succeed, if you don't want to be a success, then don't do nothing. That's easy, right? But if you do want to be a success, if you do want to grow, if you do want to learn, you're going to have to take the fight to the enemy.
So, last night, Aaron and I were trying to come up with our tagline for our new Go Socialize. And so one thing he came up with, and this kind of resonated with, it's like I couldn't put it out in public, but I put it out to you guys. So he said our tagline is, do you want to be a success or suck less? Either way, contact us.
It's pretty cute.
Are you going to tell him the other one?
Go ahead.
I'm going to turn you bitches into marketing witches. That's right.
Oh, wait. You never know, Aaron. That may get more people coming on your page than anything else.
You know what? It's a good likelihood. Yeah, but I am starting to get back into developing my character.
Uh-huh.
I've only got 35 years in service to go behind it.
Yeah. So is that what you're going to do when you go on your new socialized page and do your Facebook Lives?
I might.
Sarge is coming back to life.
Big SARS. The military mind is applied to the business world. Brace yourselves. It's about to get awesome up in here.
Wow.
That sounds good.
That'd be cool.
Very good.
Now, I guess that's part of what I think is a big problem is time, like I said, because, you know, to go and engage with these people and research them. Now, I was just told earlier today that I have to go back into the, is it the roadmap or the VIP thing and do all of those videos and study that. It seems kind of complicated, and I guess I seem a little overwhelmed to the point where, you know, you say, what's holding you back? Sometimes I just don't know what to do first, so I do nothing.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that's a huge issue for people that are starting out because, Jan, let me talk about you a little bit. When Jan first started with VIP, she kind of was at the same thing. She was like, she's working, she's taking care of her sister, and then she's staying up late at night trying to figure out all this stuff. And so she got in our group, and I'm just like, Jan, stop it. One thing at a time. Let's do what's simple. Let's do what doesn't cost money because you don't have it to spend. So what can we do that's simple and doesn't cost money? We can talk to people on Facebook. We can take EMP blogs and share them on your fan page. Make sure that you're posting consistently. Maybe work on getting an auto poster going because that's a time saver. Once you've learned how to do an auto poster, then that kind of takes off because you only have to attend to it a couple of times every so many months. If you go in there and you post for a couple of days for 3 months worth, then you don't have to deal with it again for another 3 months. So you start where it's simple and comfortable. You get good at that, get a handle on that, and then you move to the next thing. All right, and here's something I want to put out to you guys because I heard it the other day. Someone else. We all have our comfort zones, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and so you've always heard, get out of your comfort zone, go to work. We all got to get out of our comfort zones and do this and do that to make our businesses excel. Well, are we comfortable being broke? Are we comfortable struggling with our learning? Are we comfortable with seeing other people being successful and we're not. So truly, we're living in our uncomfortable zone.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to do is work towards living in our comfort zone.
That's really good. You should do that in Facebook Live, Wendy.
Mm-hmm. That sounds
That
good.
It's really good. Yeah.
That really resonated with me. Because, you know, as y'all all know, Aaron and I came from struggle because I got sick and we had bills based on 2 incomes and we were down to 1. We had to coupon cut. We had to save every way that we could possibly save, cut off everything that didn't have to be had. You know, we come from that struggle. And we have pulled our way out of it, paid off everything, gotten down to where we don't even have any car payments. The only thing we have is our house. And we paid 2 house payments a month for years to get down to where we are now, so we could be comfortable again. So, you know, truly and truly, we're all living in our uncomfortable zone, and we want to work towards our comfort level.
How long have you been doing this, Wendy?
I started in 2010,
Mm-hmm.
but what I started with is learning how to build websites.
Mhm.
So that was the first thing that I started doing, was building websites for people.
Mm.
And it just kind of led me into network marketing. And then so I've been with EMP since 2015. And it just kind of, you know, being a coach was not ever anything that I actually set out to do. But because I connected with so many people, people always come to me and say, hey, how do you do this? Hey, how do you do that? And I was spending so much time answering people's questions, I didn't have time to do my own work. And I was like, I'm coaching people, you know, so this is something I could get paid for. And so that's kind of just how it played out. You know, it kind of fell in my lap. But it actually ended up being what I love to do the most.
Mm.
You know? And so even when we build websites for people, we coach them through that process. You know, I've helped like Jan and Helen build their EMP sites. And so we coach them through how to write that About Me page, how to write that home page, what's going to attract people to you or deflect them, you know, coach them through the right pictures to use, you know, all of that. So everything.
You have websites then. Jan and Helen have websites?
Yeah, they have, y'all both have EMP websites.
Right.
EMP blog. And then I think Jan's plan down the road is to get her own personal site at some point.
Sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still at the fan page thing. Like I said, I've only been in this a couple months.
Yeah.
I
You'll
feel
get
like I
there.
should be further ahead. I was telling Wendy that earlier. I feel like I should be, you know, a little better at what I'm doing. I'm pretty illiterate with Facebook. I mean, I just bought a book, Facebook for Dummies. So I thought, well, maybe that'll help.
Miss Vicki, the one thing I do know,
Yeah.
this applies to everybody. Before you learn to do anything else, you got to crawl before you walk, before you run.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel bad and don't berate yourself. Are you trying?
Okay. Thank you.
If you're trying, you're doing good.
Well, thank you. And I feel like I'm learning a little bit at a time. Yeah.
And Vicki, you know, you can kind of take from Helen and Jan. They've both been in a little while. They're both I don't think either one of them would have expected to be doing the things that you're looking to do 3 months into it. Y'all agree?
Not at all. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm a little impatient too, but
It's all about baby steps.
yep.
And doing what you're comfortable with first. What, you know, like take the easiest thing and master it. So that way it's already mastered and you can move on to the next thing.
Well, I was pretty happy with all those likes. And like I said, now that I have over 800 likes, I'm like, what do I do with them? But now I know. Now I know.
Yeah. And so, James, like with you, I don't think are you selling a product or a service, or you're just focusing on writing your book and speaking?
I don't know what I'm doing anymore now, so
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure anymore right now.
You're doing a lot of stuff on YouTube, aren't you, James?
Well, I'm trying to focus more on YouTubing right now.
Right,
Trying
right.
to get more prospects and stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm thinking about, because I've done the travel some and speaking some, and it's getting harder in the wheelchair to do that. So I'm trying to build the YouTube as my
And what do you put on YouTube?
platform. On mine, I'm putting on positive messages or my motivational speeches or inspirational messages.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And they've been really good.
Building I'm trying to use that as my platform more now.
Oh.
And so what could you do to make money with that? Could you possibly create a webinar that like once you're building up that channel, you can drive people to a paid webinar where you can give them steps to stay motivated while they're working?
Yeah, that's in the future things is putting some webinars together from there. Who knows? I mean, I don't know exactly everything. Again, we're dropping back and punting on some of this stuff and reevaluating and readjusting.
Yeah. So what's holding you back right now is maybe that you're kind of rebranding yourself a little bit too?
Somewhat, yeah. Rebranding, somewhat, not as much as the motivational speaker to go out, but just positive messages. And again, just build the platform up. Again, webinars, like you said. I'm not sure what else can come. I'm going to learn as I go with it.
Yeah, exactly. So what I think you need to be doing right now is focusing on topics that you could teach that people would pay to hear. You know, so you can start your free information on YouTube around what's going to be coming for what they could pay for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you're basically branding yourself as like a life coach?
I think so, yeah, for right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think so right now, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so we know some of your brick walls now. Sometimes ours is rebranding in time. James has got a little bit of rebranding in time. Helen is vacationing and grandkids.
Well, I'll be very truthful. I like the idea about right now my likes campaign is not all that great. I'm losing people. I'm not as vigilant as posting as what I used to be, number one. Number two, I'm not, I'm out of the amen arena, okay? As far as I'm trying to promote more of the EMP stuff, more business-related stuff. Whereas before it was all rah-rah, you know, let's roll, motivation, everything like that, which is cool. But that addresses a different audience. That's not a paying audience as far as network marketing or affiliate marketing. This is what I've come to find out. So what I think my game plan is to start doing some of these EMP blogs, just throwing them out there. I don't care if I get 3 or 4 people that even say, I like it. They were the people that I would sit there and go through what Aaron said. He had several emails. Well, I would like sugarcoat that. Did you like a messenger? I'm not going to do it to the likes that say, oh, I like this post that you just put about have a beautiful day. You know, that to me has no no merit as far as I'm concerned. Business
You're
related.
qualifying your leads.
Pardon me?
You're qualifying your leads.
Exactly. And the leads that I've had so far, Aaron, between you and me, like I was discussing with, excuse me, with Jan before, I says, one of these days I'm going to have to do another likes campaign and strictly put it business. Okay. It's nice to be a good old boy and, you know, rah, rah, rah. However, that's not really what I'm in business. And now if you want to come to my personal page, and you see my grandbabies, and you see traveling, hey, that's cool. But when we talk in business page, I want it more business.
Yep.
You know, so that's what I'm wrapping my my head around right now. And as far as the web page that Wendy created looks dynamite, I've still got a lot more work to do to it. I did do that video live. I did maybe 2 months ago. Time escapes me. When I went out there and more or less was promoting, are you thinking about retirement? If so, blah, blah, blah. And I threw it out there saying, thanks for coming to helenfkelly.com, excuse me, which was the website, right, Wendy?
Yeah.
Now, my bottom line is, if I want to do a like that, and I don't know how this is going to configure into the mix, I want to do an abridged version. Thanks so much, in other words, for coming to my page and liking my page. If this is what I want to promote, as far as if you're retired, think about retiring, even possibility 30, 40, 50, 60, you know, at this stage in the game, there's more to life then. If you're interested, drop me a line. So I'm trying to put a little video, little blurb in the likes ad or the likes campaign, whatever you want to call it. And that's the audience that I want to see if anybody bites on. If they do, then that is what I go for and say, hey, fine. You look like you like my page. Can I talk about this? Or would you be interested in this? Then I can see how that would segue in to what Aaron was advocating before. For me to sit there and say, I've got 12 likes because they like my post, and I don't see the relevance to business. That's where I'm having my issues right now.
Okay, so sometimes you disqualify your leads too fast. So, for instance, remember how we talked about getting on Facebook and searching people who actually were in your area of business, whether it be network marketing, health and wellness, you know, whatever it is that you can
the specialty, right?
Yeah, try to target the people that are doing what you would be selling towards. And so if you've got those people as friends on Facebook or over on your fan page, and they happen to like a post that was like, everybody have a great, wonderful day, why would you disqualify them? Because
okay, so you're saying to investigate them, go at their own Facebook page and find out what their niche is. See, I didn't do that. That's due diligence. That's the part that I guess I've got to put into my game plan on a daily basis.
How do you do that? How do you know which is the right person? Because I mean, there could be 20 people by the same name. So how do you know?
So
who gave you the like?
What I was just getting ready to say is next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over showing you guys how to determine if the people that you're friends with on Facebook need to leave your page, how to find people that are qualified to be on your page. And so that way, if you consistently make sure that you only accept people that are qualified to be there, then you don't have to worry about, well, should I spend time with them or not? But for a little while, because you haven't done that, and I'm just as guilty as y'all are, because when I first started, I did it all wrong too. You know, I have got a bunch of people on my fan page that probably shouldn't be there. So you can go back and kind of do some research, click who's liked your page. You go to their profile, you check them out. If they're not really qualified, you take them off your fan page. Same thing for your friends list. Because I don't care what anybody tells you, Your friends list on your personal Facebook page, if you are trying to build a business, should be 90% business related people. And honestly, I tell my students, create another Facebook fan page for your friends and family. Use your main Facebook page for your business. Because what happens is your fan page will allow you to bring those people over, and then you can advertise to them. So you get them by becoming friends with them on your personal page.
Mm-hmm.
Over to your business page, get them to like it. Then you can retarget your Facebook fan page with an advertisement. So that's the reason you do it that way.
I knew there was a reason I married that damn woman.
Oh.
So this is some of the stuff that we'll go over next week, guys, because I think everybody needs a good refresher in this area. Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Be great.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So that will be the plan, Stan.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds
So
good then.
we'll do it Sunday at 8 o'clock. And
7 o'clock for us.
yep, well, 8 Eastern. There's no other time than Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so I want everybody to have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you too.
Please be safe on the roads.
Exactly.
And don't eat too much because we do not want you to be in a food coma come Sunday.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
All right.
Exactly.
And if you
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Wendy.
And if
Yeah,
y'all
thanks a
need
lot
anything
now.
in the meantime, make sure you post it in the group if you have any questions. Or if you think of something else that you want to make sure that we cover with the prospecting stuff, you know, we're definitely want to know what's holding y'all back so we make sure that we cover it all, okay?
Wendy, can we also go over groups? You had told us before to try to more or less join certain groups. Now, I did them. Unfortunately, I haven't done anything. So
Okay.
maybe you can intertwine maybe like a little strategy if and when you do become part of a group as to not blab your stuff, but more or less finesse your way in and maybe like a strategy to promote whatever it is that you want to.
Okay. So I think groups are probably like a separate conversation.
Okay.
We'll start off with
And the baby.
we'll start off with Facebook friends,
Okay.
pages, and then conversation starters and
Mm-hmm.
groups.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good. Mhm.
All right.
Sounds
Awesome,
good.
people. All right,
Okay.
everybody have a great
Thank
night.
you now. Happy Thanksgiving.
Night.
Thank you
Y'all
very much.
take care now.
Y'all.
Thanks, John boy. Thanks.
Night, Marion.
Sarge. Adios.
Great.
Night, y'all.
Good night now.